Morning world, it's 9:04. It's the 6th of January 2014. Thank you for all the nice responses I had to my last video about a friend of mine in California. I'm looking today at Saturn. I was going to do a video on the Saturn return again. I still might. I'm looking at all the other planets in the sky and I'm thinking, yeah, it's alright. Okay, it's void moon today, moon in Pisces. Mercury and Venus are coming together. Venus is going retrograde opposite Jupiter and square Mars over the coming week, but no great shakes, folks. No major big deals going on. So I was looking at Jupiter and Saturn and I was thinking, well, about the difference between the two. Now you look at the symbols for them. The symbols for Jupiter and Saturn are both made up of the crescent of spirit and the cross of matter. There's Jupiter. It's actually the crescent of spirit on top of or alongside or above the cross of matter. There's Saturn. The cross of matter over the crescent of spirit. Matter becomes before spirit, whereas with Jupiter, spirit comes before matter. And if you look, they're actually the same symbol, just in a different way round. So, Saturn's the one I'm interested in. It's the Saturn return at the moment for a large number of people. If you're one of those people born between October 84 and December 84, or for that matter, May 85 through to September 85, then you're going through your first Saturn return. And it will be experienced as a time of restriction and limitation and frustration and probably circumstances outside of your control, holding you back and restricting you and limiting you and making you feel tired. If it's your second Saturn return, and this is primarily those born between December 1954 to May 55, and then September 1955 to November 55. If you're one of these people, it's the second Saturn return, and it's a time of much more, well, on the one hand, you're going to feel older and more mature, and your hair's going to be getting a bit grayer. I know, I've just done mine. But at the same time, it's also a great point of maturity, and you no longer care about what anyone else says or thinks or does, because you live by your own rules and your own standards. Saturn, if nothing else, is the definer of boundaries. And because he's the furthest most planet from the sun that you can see with the naked eye, before the invention of telescopes, Saturn represented the boundary of all that there was. Everything else beyond Saturn was immovable, inflexible, did not move an inch. So it was fixed. Whereas the planets move, but Saturn was the furthest one that the ancients could see, so they set that up as the definer of boundary. And of course, nowadays, we know that Saturn is so cold that all of its gas is frozen solid into structures of gas crystal that compact in on each other in huge swirling clouds of dense crystal mass. And they compact, giving gravity and density, other Saturn attributes. And of course, Saturn also has rings around him. And these rings are seen as boundaries, being tight, being held in. It's a girdle around Saturn, but it also keeps the form in place. It brings structure. So if it's your Saturn return, if you're a variant of 29 years old or 14 and a half to 15 years old, if it's your Saturn return at this time, then really the time of now, and by now I mean I suppose October, November 2013 through to August 2014, it is a time of getting your priorities right. It's a time of looking around your life, looking at your possessions, your materials, your values, your resources, your relationships, everything in your life, and asking yourself, is this still sustainable? Every 7 years, Saturn does a 7-year age. Every 29 years, Saturn comes back to its original position, and then there is a cull. There is a test of value and worth, and that's where it is at the moment with Saturn. What is it that is still working? What is it that is still viable, sustainable, maintainable, manageable, and which brings you gain in your life? And you can continue with that, but only make it 30%. The rest can go out the window. That's the nature of Saturn. Time to prune, weed, streamline. Time to let go of things, people, and situations that have passed their sell-by date and have reached the end of their shelf life. Time for Saturn to start becoming a lot more effective and efficient. Okay, enough on Saturn. I'll do something a bit lighter tomorrow. Catch you later. Bye.